SQL injection. It's pretty old and one of the most dangerous attack. In my opinion, it's actually the most dangerous attack hacker can use against websites. I want to talk about this problem because I still see the code that's not secure. Developers still use not secure approaches to access database. So I want to show the problem. I want to prove it's actual issue we need to worry about. It's not just something we can ignore. Here I have a sample application. We can log into the site, email, password. There is no session. If we try to log in, it will not preserve this session. We can just reload. It's absolutely not secure. Authorization is not secure. I do not hide password. It's just a sample application that shows us how we can access database. And today we are going to talk only about SQL injection. Right now there is no problem. Right now the application is secure. You cannot inject something. Let's see what happens. Right now I use Dapper to access database. It actually doesn't matter which ORM you use or just pure .NET functions. It doesn't matter. The problem happens when we have SQL, when we access database using SQL and we use it not correctly. In this example, everything is correct. I have a SQL, I have parameters, and I pass parameters as a second parameter to query function. That's basically how Dapper works. But again, it doesn't actually matter. It's just the way Dapper passes parameters. If you use queries, .NET queries, it's okay. You will use parameters. Like if you use parameters, you secure. Now, let's make it not secure. The not secure approach is to concatenate strings. In this case, you do not pass parameters. You just combine different stuff to create a query. Plus email, we need a single quote because that's a string, and here is the same single quotes, single quote, and here we pass password. So now we do not use parameters, and basically the application should still work the same way as it was before. Let's confirm it works. I'm gonna run SQL profiler so we can see what's going on the back end. Okay, loading. Okay. Password, authenticating, and everything should stay the same. I'm authorized as a valid user, and let's see what happened, what query we executed. That's the query. Okay, everything is still correct, everything is working, application is working, everything is fine, but it's not secure. Right now we pass email as a parameter and password. What if hacker passes something like single quote and then ignores everything else? What if we pass something like that? What happens? We insert it here. You see, everything after double dash becomes a comment. We just drop this information from the query and only this part will execute. That's the scariest thing. Let's try pass this one and see what happens. And rather than providing a password, I'll provide anything. It doesn't matter. I'm authorized because the query doesn't check the password. It just ignores it. That's our query. We ended the query with single quotes and cut everything else with double dash to make it a comment, and that's what was executed. We don't need to know the password. We authorize with no password. That's pretty bad, and that's not only issue. We can do a lot of stuff. It depends on the permission, and I still see developers use credentials with too high permissions, too high permissions, when user can execute something like drop database or something like that. Sure, we can do even something like that. Hacker can add a semicolon and create one more query. Delete from user, for example. User should be in a square bracket because it's a registered word. Okay, if we pass something like that, we will execute one query and then another one to delete information. So let's try something like that. We need to provide something as a password because there is a validation. It's a required field. If we do not provide anything, it will not work. So that's just to provide anything. It doesn't matter. Let's try executing. Let's see what happened in our user table. It's empty. It's empty. Hacker will be able to destroy data, affect data, update, delete. Basically, it depends on what permissions are available. Which one? Full. I believe this one. I created a backup today just before this video. Okay, data is restored. Now we can try something else. I hope it's clear. We cannot use concatenation. What about string format? Sure, let's try string format and then try provide placeholders 0 placeholder 1, and then we need email and password. Let's see what's gonna happen now. I think I need to close one more for string format. I can close this one. I can start this. Let's wait. Again. Okay, test user. Doesn't matter what. And let's try authorize. I'm still authorized. I'm still there. Let's see what happened. As you can see, the query is still destroyed. I was able to change the query and affect its logic. That's the injection. We injected something that was executed as part of the SQL query. Okay, that's not secure as well. What's next? Let's see how fancy new string interpolation works. New fancy approach when we can add parameters like that. Let's see what happens. Houston, we still have a problem. We still have exactly the same problem. String format, string interpolation, they are not secure. So how should we protect? First, as I mentioned, we should use parameters. Always use parameters. It's possible to escape data like email equals email dot replace and replace all single quotes with double single quotes like that. So that should work. That's protect us. We can do it right here. It's absolutely okay to do it right here. Just do not do it twice. I'll make it simple. I'll do it before I execute the query. So that's kind of protection. Yes, it works. It works and it will be secure. But I do not recommend this way. Please do not use something like that. Use parameters. It's a better way. It's a more efficient way in terms of security and performance. Parameters are always better. So let's see. Let's prove it's actually secure now. Test user dash dashes executing. Okay, we are not authorized. That means we are secure and user. I wasn't able to hack my code. No, I think it's something old. Where is the latest one? Latest should look differently. This one. Yeah, I escaped with double quotes. I escaped it. So it actually worked. Hacker, or in this case me, I wasn't able to hack the query and inject. Double quote, double single quote actually works. If we add it everywhere, it actually helps. And this query would not drop the database. It just returns nothing and data is still there. Not drop, delete everything from the database. Everything is still there. So double single quote works. But honestly, that's ugly. That's really ugly to use something like that. Why would you want to use something like that? I have no idea. There's a great way to use parameters. I mentioned this multiple times. And in Diver, it looks like that. Let's prove parameters are secure. Because we saw how it works with parameters, but we never actually proved it's actually secure. So let me clear so I'm not confused. And it's easy to find the latest query. Okay, test user, single quotes dash dash, doesn't matter what, executing. We are not authorized, that means we are secure, and let's see what was on the server. So on the server we execute a select star from user where email equals parameter, two parameters, and the exec, and in this way it looks like, again, that's what we execute against database, and here are parameters. Parameters are escaped for us. We don't need to escape anything. As you can see, there is a single quote. That's what database sees. It's what database sees again, but it's secure way to pass parameters. It's secure way to pass data using parameters. Please use parameters every way is possible. In some cases, it's possible to secure using some kind of simple data types like int. If we have an int, yes, it's actually okay-ish to concatenate and do anything because it's basically secure. You will not be able to pass a single quote on or anything else as an int variable. Yes, but what if something changes in the future? Someone decides to change data type for this ID and says, okay, it's not int anymore, it's a string, some kind of unique string. And as soon as someone makes this change, this query becomes a problem. So again, use parameters because it's more efficient in terms of security and performance, as I said before. So that's the best way. What parameters actually affected? It might be anything. In this case, we used something on the form. User types in something to the form, but it might be a URL as well. HTTP, if the application receives parameters using query string like ID equals some kind of number or whatever, and we use this value in the query using concatenation or interpolation, it will become a problem. So it might be something from the URL, it might be something from the form, it might be something from the cookies as well. Hackers can change cookies to affect some parameters because sometimes application can use cookie values with SQL query to pull something from the database. So everything user can change can cause SQL injection. So if you think something can come from the user, you need to validate, you need to check, and you definitely need to use parameters. So that's it. Today I just wanted to show how SQL injection works to prove its actual problem, how to protect, and showed you some samples how hackers can use parameters to hack the database. So it's the most dangerous attack, and unfortunately I still see string concatenation in some SQL C# code or even PHP or Python. It's not related to C# only. This problem can be in any language. Everywhere we can use SQL, like raw SQL. Some frameworks use like link. Link kind of protect us. Yes, it protects us. But link designed to use parameters everywhere. It's designed with security in mind. But if we use raw SQL, that's our responsibility to make sure we use parameters. Thank you for watching the video. Give it a thumb if you liked it. Have a good day.